Hey everyone, now we're back with another No Way Home video. This time we're talking about the end credit scene. We didn't discuss it in our last video. Well, we kind of did. We discussed one of them. We thought we'd make a different video for this one just because it's spoiler alert, by the way. It's very different from the film. And in fact, it's nothing really to do with this film in a way. It's a totally different character. It's a trailer for a new film. It's Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness. A weird coincidence, I guess, given that the director of it, has or roots with the Spider-Man films, of course, Sam Raimi, and yeah, I was always really excited for this when I heard his name on the project, and I thought the trailer was really really cool. I know you sort of had some thoughts to get off your chest about it, so I'm intrigued to hear what you're saying. So, mate, yeah, if you want to even open the floor with like what your general thoughts and on the trailer, then.
Well, there have been reports in the last few months that this film was due to do 6 weeks worth of reshoots, which is pretty extensive
Yeah, it's nuts.
by most expectations of what reshoots would be. And the reports are saying, that they're unhappy with the film and that they're reshooting, a large chunk of it. And with the footage that we saw, I'm not surprised because I was like, if that's the best footage that they could get, I am worried about this film. And I don't know whether it was down to what we actually saw or how it was put together, but it is one of the worst edits on a trailer I've ever seen. I don't know whether it's because it was just meant to be this, kind of like piecemeal teaser trailer, just like a proof of concept. But when a film's due in a handful of months, you would think that this would be, it'd be about due for a legitimate teaser trailer, of the likes of the first trailer for Thor Ragnarok, which was very very positively received. But here, the edit really upset me for whatever reason. And just the dialogue was a bit painful. And I'm just hoping that this isn't a true reflection of the quality that we're going to get.
Yeah, I've a couple of things there as well. You mentioned, I think maybe the fact that we watched it in the theater for me, it did resemble somewhat of like a fan made trailer to me. Like it was edited in that kind of way. And I know a lot of these trailers leak online through people filming it in the theater and stuff. So maybe that's why it's feeling like that to me. I'm not sure. Another thing, I kind of was looking at Sam Raimi's filmography here just before he came on today, and he hasn't directed a movie since 2013. Man, I'm not saying not necessarily a concern because he's obviously knows what he's doing with that stuff. But in 8 years, like the film industry can change so much during then, so I'm not too sure whether like you know that's gonna play an impact on it or not. Of course, he's not used to this kind of movie. Of course, he's done Spider-Man, but this is a whole different kettle of fish, and this established universe with these characters that have been created and developed by other directors on multiple projects. So I have faith in Sam Raimi to really pull through and make this a great film because he's one of my favorite directors, and I think he's bringing back Danny Elfman to score the film as well, which is really exciting. That duo from Spider-Man. So don't get me wrong, like listen, it wasn't the best trailer ever. I still enjoyed it. There's a lot of things there I think we can talk about in here that potentially relate to What If or other shows, Loki as well, for an example. And it certainly seems like it's going down, this horror-esque direction to me. It definitely had a darker vibe to it, and of course with Wanda Maximoff in it from Scarlet Witch, it sort of seems that it might be tying into One Division as well.
Yeah, so I mean, there's obviously going to be. We had the name drop of Westview, so we know that One Division is at least it's at least referenced within this film, and
Yeah, it's
probably
canon. Yeah.
her position as this fugitive from the law is probably going to come into play in it. With suggestions that she may be the villain of the film, because the trailer sort of poises this dark Doctor Strange as the villain of the film, or uh this mirror reflection of him who seems to be evil, by the edit of the trailer, and by the dialogue by Baron Mordo. But a lot of people seem to think that that's Strange Supreme from What If, which, if that's the case, he at the end of that series was, spoilers, a guardian of the multiverse. He was a good guy, and he was forever like locked in this mirror dimension, watching over the fight between uh you know Ultravision that had been infected by Arnim Zola and Killmonger. So he's sort of keeping watch of that. So if he's gotten free from that, I don't understand what malevolent plan he would conceivably have. So if that's him, I think that this trailer is a misdirect, trying to present him as a dark Doctor Strange, or this isn't that character and it is just a straight up evil Doctor Strange. But honestly, I think Benedict Cumberbatch playing one version of Doctor Strange is enough for me. It's already not a character I'm massive about. So I was sort of looking forward to everything else in this movie overshadowing him. And I'm kind of concerned that that's not going to be the case.
Looking back at the first movie, I really do enjoy it more and more, but it's mostly because of the is it Christine Palmer her name is? Night Nurse
Yeah.
and that. Yeah, it's mostly because of her dynamic with Stephen rather than the action scenes really there.
And I think he has an
Excuse me.
awesome origin, but like the
Oh, certainly.
character's just the worst.
Yeah, he's not a likable character whatsoever, really. Um, I feel like for this trailer too, it's bringing back a character that I really love in Baron Mordo. He's not really called Baron Mordo in the first movie. He's I think he's kind of that's his introduction to villainy really. Although in the trailer, like I don't I might have
His
just
name's
completely
Carl.
yeah, Carl Mordo, isn't it? I think
Love that.
I might have seen them like team up or something in this trailer. I'm not sure if I just made that up, but it kind of seemed like the vibe is like he's not going to be the main focus for as the antagonist, which is surprising given at the end of Doctor Strange 1 2016, and it's a character we haven't really seen a lot of since then, if ever. I think so. It's a really it's a pretty big name actor. So yeah, I'm really intrigued to see where they take the Mordo character because he is one of my favorites from that film, if not my favorite.
Yeah, I think he's going to have certainly a state to case in this film, because clearly magic does have a hugely detrimental effect to this universe, as well as protecting the world. But I mean, it's always people using magic to protect the world from magic. So I mean, Mordo's position is that if they get rid of all magic, all of those threats are removed, and you no longer need to protect the world from magic. So I mean, it's gonna be hard to sort of to fight against that case. So we'll see whether he takes it from more of a philosophical reasonable approach, or whether he uses violence to get that across.
Yeah, and my last comment on the trailer really was on the reintroduction of some, or sorry, the introduction of some new characters rather. And we see like this big, like one-eyed monster. I think that is a character from the comics. Forgive me, I can't remember its name or anything
I
like
think
that. But
it's Shuma Gorath, I think.
yeah, something like that. It looks like it's going to be a pretty cool action sequence. And also, I think they're introducing America Chavez. Is it? Yeah,
Hmm.
in this film. I'm not sure if they're going to try and do a Young Avengers. It certainly seems that way at the minute, but I feel like that's a really unusual character to introduce in a Doctor Strange film to me. I think of Doctor Strange, and with all the magic and stuff like that, you'd think you'd maybe want to introduce some magical characters or other characters like that, or maybe reintroduce Iron Fist, something like that. I don't even know, but I just feel
And
like
he doesn't really gel naturally with kids, as we see in Spider-Man: No Way Home.
well, that's it. I mean, for anyone who reads comics and in the comments, let us know if like those characters are affiliated in the comics, or there's a run together with them teaming up. I'm not sure, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like a natural fit to me as maybe some other MCU team ups did. Like Falcon and Ant-Man seem like a good team up idea, and Ant-Man, for example. But here, I don't know.
Mhm.
It seems a bit strange.
Yeah, so like let us go through the Young Avengers that we do have. So we
Mhm.
have Wiccan in Speed in WandaVision. We have Patriot in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We've got America Chavez. We've got Kate Bishop. Uh, we've got the introduction of Kang, which could then lead to the introduction of Iron Lad, who is him from a different timeline.
I think they could do
Uh,
Hulkling and Secret Invasion if they wanted to.
Yeah, and then I know him and one of Wanda's kids are in a romantic relationship in the comics. I don't remember which one it is. Apologies. But I wonder how they're gonna play. Uh, I wonder how they're gonna play that, because I think if they do introduce Hulkling, then they probably will do that storyline. But then how do you get around the idea that like they're fake kids,
Yeah,
made from magic? Yeah, I'm really curious, because obviously she has physically altered reality, like she has created life through magic, so they are real. It's just that they aren't actually like created through biology. and also, Vision doesn't have genetics, so has she just like, asexually reproduced herself into like kids that she decided what they would look like? Are they biologically related to her? Are they biologically related to each other? Because I mean, they're not going to be biologically related to Vision. So I can't really wrap my head around it. And then would Hulkling enter into a relationship with someone that he knows is fake or inorganic? Like I don't know.
This film raises a lot of questions for me, especially when it was announced last year. Um, I think we did a podcast on it at the time, and the title Multiverse of Madness, I mean, that's probably my favorite MCU title at this point. It sounds really intriguing, and I'm not sure if that's going to open these possibilities to introduce the X-Men or anything. I remember early days for this film, there's rumblings of a House of M story arc. I definitely don't think they're doing that here. I think that maybe would be, that's for its own film rather than a Doctor Strange film. So I'll be honest, I don't think this film's going to be in the scale of No Way Home, which is disappointing because I feel like the title alone, this film should be a guaranteed event film. But just with the editing of the trailer, I could be wrong. I just feel like it is going to be a little bit more Doctor Strange focused, a little bit more character focused rather than this a huge big event. I could be wrong. The second trailer could come out for this, and could have a cameo from Charles Xavier, for example. I remember we talked about that, didn't we, before? And I'm not sure if we're gonna see any introductions of mutants or anything. What do you think?
Yeah, it seems like anything's on the table, and that's sort of what they pitched. What these reshoots were, they were like, yeah, we just want to add more cameos and goodies, and I'm like, if you're having like a significant cameo, like from a specific actor, and you're just doing it as like a pickup to like drop into the film, you're probably going to film with that actor for 1 or 2 days. So what are you doing for the rest of the 6 weeks? Oh, you're reshooting pivotal parts of the film. Like they're chatting shit. Yeah, I think everything's on the table. We can't really rule anything out. As Kevin Feige has said, everything that we've seen before is canon in the MCU multiverse. So they have a lot of things to choose from, and I'm really curious to see it. But yeah, I agree with you. Like Spider-Man, WandaVision was meant to be like this soft introduction into the multiverse. Loki, a bit of a rev up from that. Then Spider-Man, big rev up from that, with the finale being Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So if it is quaint in comparison to Spider-Man No Way Home, I think it's going to be a real letdown. But I don't know that. I think that nostalgia helps Spider-Man No Way Home out a lot. The massive reveal and the joy and the surprise for some people, I suppose, of the appearances there. So if the characters that they choose to bring in here for cameos aren't to that level, I feel like people aren't going to be able to enjoy the film as much as they did Spider-Man No Way Home. Like I don't think an appearance of any X-Man will match Tobey Maguire. Like who nobody actually likes all of the X-Men films. Like everybody has like picks and chooses which ones they enjoy. I like X-Men 2, First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and that's pretty much Logan, and then that's pretty much it. What about yourself?
I like all of them personally, but
No, you don't.
I
Come
do.
on.
I think if I was going to choose one that I didn't want to watch again, it would probably be X-Men.
I'm never
Dark
going to watch The
Phoenix.
Last Stand again.
I think Dark. I see with all those X-Men films, like I watched because like I had like Freeview as a kid, and those films were always on the Film 4 or Channel 4 or Channel 5 or something. So like I watched all the X-Men films all the time as a kid. They were like, I imagine they're like your relationship with Andrew Garfield, Amazing Spider-Man 1, like a film that for some reason you watched loads of times as a kid. That was really all the X-Men films. I have favorites. Like I think if I were gonna pick a standout, the one that I've seen the most is probably X-Men First Class. I love that film very dearly. So I think seeing Patrick Stewart would be amazing. James McAvoy would be awesome too. I don't know if they're going to bring those characters, well, the same character back, but I think they've got to be careful with that because the X-Men films are very messy. It's like opening Pandora's box there. Really, with all these actors, I wouldn't want to see Hugh Jackman back again if they're going to do Wolverine. I want a different Wolverine, preferably. But listen, as you said, no, nothing's taken off the table. Like everything, everything is there. All the possibilities are there, and all the cards are there to do whatever they want with, really. So it's intriguing. I don't have anything more to say on the on the trailer for this film, unless you have any comments, mate.
No, not about the trailer, but there is one question or one comment that we posed at the start of the Spider-Man No Way Home review, that we forgot to bring back up again, and that I was curious
Oh
on your
yes, let's do
answer
it.
for.
Yes.
I had mentioned that the CGI was pretty stellar aside from one thing, and then you said, "Oh yeah, I imagine we're thinking the same thing," and we never found out what each other's CGI blip was.
See, when you say blip, it makes me think that was maybe one individual scene. I thought you were gonna talk about Flint Marko and what he's in mud form. I thought that's what you're gonna go for, but
Oh yeah, he's not great, but
it wasn't bad,
there's
but
something
he
else for
wasn't
me.
great. What was yours?
I would say for Sandman, I would say he's pretty good most of the time, but his introduction where he's like, that like wide wall of sand, and then just his face, and he's like, Peter, it's me, Flint Marko. Do you remember me from a few years ago? And you're like, oh, fucking hell. But no, what I was actually thinking was the lizard. Like the lizard's face is fucked. Like, we already like hate the fact that he has like this flat humanoid face, which I understand. They did that to make him more expressive. But you really rob the character of a lot of like visual uniqueness by taking away his lab coat and by taking away his more crocodilian features. But like somehow, like
It looks
I don't know
worse, I
why they
think.
didn't just like copy and paste. Why didn't they copy and paste the visual scan from Amazing Spider-Man 1? Like how does it look worse? Like they
Just put a
I
snipe
can't
on him and
even
a
put it
lab
into
coat.
words, but like they made his teeth sharp, and they did something. I
His
think they
eyes
wanted
look
it
different
to
as
be
well.
more feasible that like a human voice came out of him.
Hmm.
But they just really like disturb like the uncanny valley in my head, where I was like, oh god, like they've tried to make it look more human, but it just looks more fucked as a result.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I literally had those notes as well in the review. Just give him a snout and give him a lab coat and maybe some purple shorts if you want. Purple shorts aren't a necessity. The lab coat's a necessity for me for that character.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what they're
If you're
thinking.
if you're changing Electro, like why can't you change the lizard?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a character that I still don't think has been done right since probably like Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man or Spider-Man the animated series. Really, like I remember that's like the first episode of that
Hmm.
show. Actually, the lizard, isn't it? Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Not great.
But I mean, if you're saying that lightning can, give Jamie Foxx hair, like, it can take
And
away
give
his
lizard a
comb over
snout.
and give him like, a fresh fade, then you can say, oh, the lizard took a different formula last year or something, and he's been time displaced from when he was killed in his universe, but by that point he had experimented with the lizard formula and he has a new look. Like that's the character that I think you can easily change the look of. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, if you're going with the fact that it's the same Doc Ock, you can't be like, oh, he now has an Eastern European accent and he has a yellow and green suit, because he's meant to be taken from the moments at the end of Spider-Man 2, because we know that that's that character's canonical death. But like with the Lizard, all these characters are allegedly meant to be killed in a battle with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Sometime either in the time before Toby and Andrew come from, or the time after. So easily you could say that the Lizard had experimented with this formula and he looks different easily.
Mate, I think it's bizarre. I think you're right. I don't know what they're thinking. Hopefully they'll do the character justice one day. I hold out hope. I hold out hope. But anyway, that wraps up our pretty much our No Way Home videos. I mean, we've done quite a lot of them, but I think our hype for this movie was unlike anything really before. Maybe Avengers Endgame, I suppose. But yeah, I had a blast talking to you with it. I think we're both going to see it again sometime, 100%. But yeah, thanks very much for your time, Cal. I appreciate it, and thank you very much, viewers, for your time. We're really trying to hit 300 subscribers on the channel. Hopefully by the end of the year, we've got about
Mm,
11 days. I don't know. We gained a few in the last few days, so maybe the rush,
yeah.
another rush will get us there.
What
I'm not
what
sure.
one a day and we're there.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll be great, guys, if you hit that subscribe button and keep on commenting, keep on sharing, liking, all that good stuff. It means a lot to us. And yeah, stay safe over the Christmas period as well. And yeah, bye bye.
Bye bye.